One down, one more to go here on a Friday, but who's counting, right? We have a fun one on Monday Night Football with the Eagles traveling to Green Bay to battle it out with the Packers for NFC supremacy. Packers are hoping for a better performance than their disappointing, really not good at all loss to the Panthers in Week 9. Meanwhile, the Eagles offense has seemingly figured things out. They should be well rested coming out of their bye week. And so Monday, huge game for both of these teams, but is it a must win for the home team in the Packers, Cam Newton?
Yes, ma'am, it is. And I would say it this way. Will the real Jordan Love please stand up? We've been seeing two different phases and shades of Jordan Love this year. Why do you say? It's because when I see Jordan Love versus the Detroit Lions, I'm like, okay, that's an MVP candidate. When I see Jordan Love versus the Cincinnati Bengals, that is an MVP candidate. When I see Jordan Love versus the Washington Commanders, that is an MVP candidate. But on the contrary, when I see Jordan Love versus the Carolina Panthers, 0 touchdowns. When I see Jordan Love versus the Cleveland Browns, questionable kind of performance. When I see Jordan Love really in the latter part of just shades of the Dallas Cowboys games, it's like, what are we doing, right? So when I'm looking at the performances of who he is and how he plays, now it puts the onus of how deep of a playoff run can the Green Bay Packers really go. Now you start to say, versus certain teams, we're starting to see a different side, but that's not even really accurate. Now when you play against a team like Philadelphia, where everybody knows unanimously they are who we thought they were, and it may not be pretty, but they get the job done. What do you do versus a Tier 1 team like that? And I can't wait to see.
Stephen A., what do you think? Must win for Green Bay?
I think so. I'm going to tell you why. It's still early enough that battling with the Lions, we get that part. I think Green Bay is a team that needs home field advantage come playoff time in order to make the kind of noise we surmise they will make. And obviously, if you lose this game, that goes a long way towards derailing those hopes because it positions Detroit to have supremacy within the NFC North, and ultimately, if it comes down to that. But let's look at Green Bay from a macro perspective dating back to last year. They were 0-6 against the top 3 teams in the NFC last year, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Eagles last year. They were 11-1 against everybody else. They were 0-2 against the Philadelphia Eagles. In those games, Jordan Love completed 55% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He became the first Packer not to throw a touchdown and throw at least 3 interceptions in a playoff game as a quarterback. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about Jordan Love. And so when I look at Green Bay, I see, you got Gary, you got Micah, you got the crew, I got that. You can get to the quarterback, I got that part. All right, and we've seen them lose to Cleveland, we've seen them lose to Carolina, and that was primarily because of their offense, not because of their defense didn't show up, because their offense didn't show up. It's going to come down to Jordan Love and that Packers offense, and I think Monday night against Philadelphia, it'll go a long way towards helping them if they win the game. If they lose the game, it's going to be the same old Packers in recent memory in most of our eyes.
Why are we talking about Jordan Love like he a scrub? Like what are we asking? We gotta just stop reading the stats and talk about how this man is playing. Let's talk about what we saw in domination against Detroit and the Washington Commanders to start the season. Now, let's get to the Cleveland game. Absolutely. Late interception can't happen. Matthew Golden is running down the sideline for a 95-yard touchdown. He catches the ball and runs out of bounds. Now, let's get to what we saw against the Carolina Panthers, since that's something we want to bring up. They're driving to score in the first quarter, and Savion Williams gets the football stripped by J.C. Horn. These aren't things that are on Jordan Love. Jordan Love wasn't supposed to stop Rico Dowdle from running the ball and absolutely decimating the Green Bay Packers defense last week. But I did watch Jordan Love lead a game-winning drive against the Arizona Cardinals. I saw that. I did watch Jordan Love throw for 3 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys and 337 yards. Oh, I did watch Jordan Love against the Pittsburgh Steelers in prime time, win down at halftime, throw 20 straight completions and 3 tutties in that game. I believe in Jordan Love. I'm not going to sit here and say that the play of Jordan Love this year has been below the line, has been below the level of expectation. Has it been perfect? Absolutely not. But to walk into this game against the Philadelphia Eagles, who I still believe control their own destiny in the NFC, and say that it's all on Jordan Love, that Jordan Love has so much to prove. No, what Jordan Love can do is by winning this game, take that next step and say, hey, because of Jordan Love, they win the Super Bowl. And here is my opinion. Matt LaFleur got to put that on it. Matt LaFleur got to stop thinking that the run's going to lead this team. It's Jordan Love's time. He's proved that he's ready for it, and you got to put it on his shoulders. And Shay knows this because she's from the Midwest, and I know she agree with me. She ain't saying it, but she feel it in her heart.
Well. Go ahead, Shay. I'll let you go first. I'll piggyback off you, Shay. I'll get at RC in a second. Go ahead, Shay.
All right. I was actually going to kind of agree with RC, not because of what he's done this season, Jordan Love, but because of what we've seen in years past. Jordan Love is the purest definition of a second-half quarterback that we have seen in the NFL. Since he took over in 2023, this dude has had the highest QBR the second half of the season of any other starting quarterback. Now is his time, which is why I do feel like this is kind of a must-win for him to shut people down that maybe don't believe that he has the same potential as some of these other quarterbacks. I'll say. Now go ahead.
So RC is sitting up here on national television, accusing us of not watching Jordan Love and accusing us of not recognizing the surreal talent that he is. I recall us acknowledging that. I recall RC acknowledging that. Just like we watch the games, we also have the pleasure of watching RC. If I remember correctly, Shay, wasn't it you with RC who was on the road for SportsCenter with the training camps? Wasn't Green Bay one of the places y'all went to? I believe that. I think I remember it. I think I remember. I'd be far for me to bring that up because I think I remember it, right? And then while I watched, I also saw RC previewing the NFL season. I saw RC dissecting the greatness of Jordan Love. I saw RC talking about what Green Bay was because of Jordan Love, and ultimately, in order for them to get to the next level, what Jordan Love had to be. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's just the English language. But if you are articulating and verbalizing what somebody is, but what they need to be in order to get to another level, that implies that they ain't there yet. Because something's missing in terms of their performance. Now, I'm sorry if somebody, you understand, interpreted differently, but me, I think that I understood and deduced plenty of what RC said. And matter of fact, Shay, because you were there with them, I recall you asking them about Jordan Love. I watched it. It came on the Sports Center. It came on 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And Shay, actually it was at 12 because Sports Center had you there. And it was you that sat up there, Shay, and say, hey, we know they're a good team. And Jordan Love is really good. And you even brought up his second half numbers. And you talked about how great it was. But we saw him against the Eagles last year, and we need to see X, Y, and Z. And RC was like, yep. Yeah, you absolutely right. Yep. But for me to bring it up, oh, so now it's a problem. Okay, I understand.
He watched the rerun. He watched that rerun. Go on, Cam.
Hey, Stephen Anthony.